Two Dallas policemen were injured this afternoon, and a Dallas man was fatally shot in what began to be a routine investigation of a disturbance in South Dallas. Here at Parkland Hospital's emergency room, I talked with Officer B.D. Bailey, one of those injured. The man was identified as 27-year-old Charles Bowie, Jr. of Dallas. Several police cars took part in the ensuing chase, and two of them were involved in minor accidents with two other vehicles. The chase ended when a patrolman fired the fatal shot from a shotgun through the rear window of the car, hitting the man in the head. He was pronounced dead on arrival at Parkland Hospital. Mike Moss, Channel 8 News.
An honorable basis would be one in which we did not just surrender and pull out and say, well, we've made a mistake and therefore we're just going to pull out. I don't see how a nation of America's stature in the world could possibly do that and just say we've made a mistake and pull out. We have 500,000 boys there. It is my hope that those boys can be returned home safely just as quickly as possible, however, only on an honorable basis.
In a minority group, the problem here seems to be the union. Isn't that not correct? The federal government with its job discrimination laws, and the unions with their discriminatory practices, that puts you kind of a middle, because a good portion of your funds comes from the federal government.
This is right. And we have told the government that we have a valid contract with the union. And particularly in those areas where you get all of your employees from the hiring hall, and you're obligated by contract to accept these people. If they're discriminatory, there's absolutely nothing that we can do about it.
If the government is aware of this situation, why aren't they putting the pressure where it belongs?
We can't understand this. We've told them that if you want to stop discrimination in some areas, that we feel that the pressure should be put on the union.
The old expression, too wet to plow, is no longer idle talk. It is a serious condition that could become critical overnight throughout the North Texas area. Figures compiled in Ellis County and considered representative throughout North Texas show that since November the 26th, there hasn't been a 2-week period without measurable rainfall. I talked with James Reisinger in Collin County. He's the county agent for Collin County, was in Delta County prior to that, and has been working with farmers since 1950.
We haven't had over 4 to 6 days during this time for actual field work.
And this doesn't affect the cattlemen as much?
Well, of course it has, because it's added more labor to their feeding practices and more feed to put into the cattle.
If we had had a normal winter, one without as much dampness and rain as we've had, what would be the status of the field worker right now?
Well, we would be planting grain sorghum and getting our fields ready to plant cotton. But as it is, we haven't got any grain sorghum planted. and we don't have our fields ready to plant cotton in.
What will happen if it rains some more within the next week?
Well, it's going to put us, we're already 3 to 4 weeks late. It's going to put us later. It's going to put our crops into hotter weather and more insect damage during the summer.
It is too soon to place a dollars and cents value on the situation, but it does make sense that if it rains again, or even if the sun remains hidden and bad weather persists, farmers face disaster. And they have yet to recover from the floods and washout of 2 years ago. This is Harvey Johnston with the farmers for Channel 8 News.